Hey, welcome to High Proof Low IQ with the emphasis on low IQ. I'm Scott, and this is.
I'm Gordon.
I'm still Scott, he's Gordon again. So, we're here to do a little quick bottle review, a little Middlewest Spirits. For those of you that don't know, they are located out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm an SEC fan, so I will reserve comments about the Columbus, Ohio area, even though I'm married into the family and I love my wife. So I am going to talk about this now. This is a ported pumpernickel rye whiskey. So this thing is 5 years. It's basically double barreled. So it was aged in a white oak, a new charred white oak barrel, as most bourbons are, but this is a rye, obviously. And then it was finished in a tawny port barrel. And if you want to listen to the fun little descriptions they put on this thing, it is a medium toasted American white oak barrel for the first age, and then it's in a sun-soaked French tawny port cask, which I like tawny port cask finishes. Nulu did a great one. It's actually probably my favorite tawny port cask finish of all time. This one, they claim, has stone fruit, nutmeg, and spiced rye as far as these soft notes. So you can get what you get out of it when you get it. But this is basically a 4-grain whiskey. It is a rye, corn, barley, and wheat. I don't know what the percentages are. They don't tell us that. This is batch number 3. It is also 99.5 proof, so it's not a particularly high proof one. But nonetheless, I think it's I think they do some good stuff. They've got several different releases that have trickled their way down into the Tennessee area, which is where we're from. So I'm looking forward to reviewing this. I have tasted it. As you can see, it's a little bit down the bottle, but not too much, because I got to be honest, probably most of that I've let other people taste. So I've probably had maybe 2 pours out of this at most. So you got anything you want to say about it, Gordo?
No, I got to say this. I'm familiar with Middlewest. I have some family that lives in Ohio and in the Cleveland area, so I drive through Columbus every now and then. And they're not originally from Ohio, but that's where they live, and they have for the past about 20 years, 25 years. And so this is nothing new to me, although this particular expression is new to me.
Here we go. Let's listen to this. It's not fresh, but
America.
That's the sound of America. That's the sound of nice whiskey. And unlike when I was at the beach last week, we're going to put these in nice glasses instead of cheap plastic cups. Look at that. Does that not just make you just want to just jump right through the screen and have some of this?
Oh, yeah.
I know it probably does, and I'm sorry that you can't do that. But you can go find this at a store. It's about $80 to $85, I would say. I think it's worth it from what I remember, but honestly, this is kind of like a new deal for me, because I've probably not cracked this bottle in a month or 2. So we're going to give it a try right now.
All right.
Got good color. Pumpernickel. Everybody thinks pumpernickel bread. Some people like pumpernickel bread, some people don't. I would say if I ate a piece of pumpernickel bread, I wouldn't love it. But that doesn't mean I won't like the rye whiskey.
Yeah. So I like pumpernickel bread. I'll be honest with you. So it comes in this tube, which is a nice touch. Obviously, that's just some packaging that you're paying extra for, but I think it's minimal. I think the whiskey's worth what you pay for it. And I have tried this before. So you smell that pumpernickel rye. If you know the smell of like that pumpernickel rye, you'll get that smell on the nose.
I get the tawny port, I'll tell you that right now.
And you get the port.
I especially get it. I mean, I get it when you first take the drink, but I also get it probably 30, 45 seconds after you swallow it. You start to really feel it on the back of the palate.
Okay.
I enjoy that.
So I taste that pumpernickel rye bread flavor on the palate, and I also get a little bit of black licorice, maybe in these.
Yeah, I could say I could get that from it.
The legs are really good on this particular bottle.
Once again, I like a good pair of legs. It's kind of just,
Does she know how to use them?
I think in this case, she definitely knows how to use them. If she doesn't know how to use them, she needs to learn. But in this case, she knows how to use them.
There you go. On the nose, I'm getting nutmeg, I'm getting vanilla, and on the palate I get nutmeg and vanilla. And on the palate I get also that black licorice or anise that we had talked about before. Very interesting. I get flavors and aromas that remind me of pumpernickel rye bread. Super good. It's got a sweet finish. That port wine really gives me a sweet finish on the very end.
I don't know what. Once again, I don't know the percentages on the mash bill. It is 4 grain.
Yeah.
Definitely get rye on the nose. It comes across as a rye, but as a nice finished rye.
Yeah, I think the finish really makes a big difference on this one. Scott and I both, although I'm more of a rye fan than Scott and I both really do enjoy rye whiskeys and finished rye whiskeys. I think Scott's more of a fan of finished rye whiskeys than he is just plain rye whiskeys. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, that would probably be accurate. I really appreciate a good finish on. I appreciate a good finish on any whiskey, but I feel like it makes for me a better rye than just a straight rye. Of course, it also depends on your mash bill. I mean, your typical 95.5 is what your normal rye is. There are some other ryes that have a different mash bill to it. But for me, it makes a difference if it's finished. In this case, it's finished.
Right. So in the past, we did a what's in the box where Scott tried a new riff rye whiskey, malted rye whiskey that was finished in two sherry casks, Oloroso and PX, or Pedro Jimenez. And that's one of his favorite ryes, and maybe one of his favorite whiskeys. And I tried to fool him, and I did on that one, which was really a good one. Generally, Scott's very good.
I got that it was finished, but that's about it. Yeah.
Generally, Scott's very good at the what's in the box things, but that one really blew his mind. And I think it blew his mind because I went with something that he loved on that, and he didn't think I was going to do that. So I
didn't think it drank like a rye that much. That's what threw me off. It was finished, and for whatever reason, the finish made me not really. I didn't know for sure it was a rye. I didn't know enough that it was a rye to make me think, okay, I'm going to guess it's rye.
Right, and I'm going to say this for finished ryes, if you're a bourbon lover, but you don't know if you love ryes or not, try finished ryes, because a lot of times that's going to take the edge off of that rye spice at the very end, which is really kind of the thing that bourbon drinkers don't like about ryes.
You've heard the term bourbon drinker's rye? That is kind of what he's talking about. You can find, and that's why I think I like the new riff that he was talking about. It was kind of a bourbon drinker's rye, whereas, and that's how I recognized it. That's how I liked it, because it came across as a bourbon, more toward the bourbon side than the rye side. So yeah, he got me on that one, because that's it. It doesn't drink to me as a big time rye.
Right, takes the edge off of the rye spice, and a lot of people don't. That puts them off if you're especially if you're if you like wheated bourbons a lot. Like Scott tends to like the wheated bourbons more than high rye recipe bourbons, and so when you get more and more and more into the rye flavors and into rye whiskey, generally speaking, folks that are that persuasion are gonna enjoy finished ryes more than ryes that aren't finished, and I think that's the case with this one for sure. This one is really, really sweet. You get the port on it, and you also get the age for sure on this, but it makes it sweeter. It takes the edge
Well, that's
off
the
of
other thing. It's 5 years, but I mean, I've drank some 4, 5, 6 year whiskeys that have tasted really young to me. This one does not taste young to me.
Yeah,
and maybe that's because it's double barreled. It's finished in a barrel after it's aged in a barrel. So I don't know.
I think that, and also rye whiskeys don't have to age as much as bourbons do. to fully mature, I think. So you can put out a 5 or 6 year old rye whiskey, and that'll be comparable to like an 8 or 9 year old bourbon, in my opinion, and in the opinion of some people who consider themselves to be experts. I'm not one, but I agree with them. How about that?
We're on the dumb side of the spectrum.
Right.
That's the main low IQ.
Low IQ, but we read a lot, and so we got to decide. We read somebody's opinion, so we drink a lot too, and we decide whether we agree with them or not. And in this case, I do. There you go.
It's good stuff. I would recommend it. And honestly, I think this may not be easily findable, but it's not necessarily hard to find either. I would guarantee, depending on where you are, you've probably got multiple liquor stores in your town, and you probably could find one that has this particular tube in it. They've also got a wheat whiskey that they put out at the same time as this ported rye. It's good too. I've tried it. It is an enjoyable pour. I didn't like it quite as much as this, which is funny because you're just talking about me loving wheated stuff. But wheated whiskey versus a wheated bourbon are two different things. Mm-hmm. In this case, I like this ported rye better than I did that, but I also wouldn't kick rocks at that one either. So if you find either one, if you get a chance to try it before you buy it, do that. Maybe they might have a bottle of it for you. In the case that I had, I was a great store that I frequent and love them a lot. They let me try both of them, and this is the one I went with. But I mean, I could just as easily have gotten a wheated too.
Absolutely. And if you are looking for a certain bottle and there's a store you like to go to, sometimes you can ask the owner or the manager if they can order something for you, and if they think they can sell more than a couple of cases of it in a short period of time, they will go ahead and order it for you. But a lot of times they don't order things just because they've never thought of it. The thought never crossed their mind. So go ahead and bring it up. You got nothing to lose.
To his point, this particular one, I've got a local store that I frequent now. It's a fairly new store, just in the last couple of years, and he's doing a great job of trying to cater to his customers, and he's building up his inventory. And I took this particular bottle into him and let him try it, and he liked it, and he decided to buy a case of it and put it on his shelf. So you can ask him, like he said, to bring in stuff that you might like, or you take him to try it, let him try something. Don't be afraid to let your local liquor store guy try something that you might have, because he might not have seen it or tasted it, and he may want to say, you know what, that's pretty dadgum good, and I'll put that on the shelf, and some people will buy that. So it'll help him out. It'll go a long way toward helping your relationship with him. So.
Right, and I think relationships, if you're a hunter, relationships really make a big deal. Knowing the managers and the owners of stores and getting familiar with them and letting them know you're friendly, and whenever you get the chance to share a whiskey that you purchased from them, or that you've purchased and they don't carry but you would like them to, a lot of times sharing stuff with them goes a long way towards goodwill. And sometimes when they have something behind the counter or in their office that's kind of a hard to find bottle, sometimes they can help you out a little bit.
I've got a good relationship with several stores around here, as does Gordon, and they appreciate you bringing in stuff to let them try. Because they don't. I mean, honestly, they can't try everything. They've got reps that bring them in bottles, but they might not bring them in everything. We might find something out of state or out of county or out of city, and that they don't have. So if you bring something into them, it's only going to help them. If they think it's something they can sell here, that's actually an added value to them to be able to put on their shelf. So don't be afraid to do that. And I mean, I've got some good. The people that I know at these stores are good people, and they really appreciate that. And and it's also goes to the don't drink alone point. If you can go share a bottle with somebody, hey, they appreciate it, and you enjoy sharing it with them. So
that's true. So whenever you get a chance to, depending on your state laws or your county laws or whatever, if you buy a bottle and if you want to establish, or you have established a relationship with the manager or people behind the counter or whatever, and they ask if it's any good. A lot of times, what I'll do is I'll say, well, let's find out together, and I ask them if I break this open, will you try it with me? And sometimes they say yes, and if they do, then that's always it's an act of goodwill. It lets them know that you're not going to turn around and sell that bottle to anybody else. Also, they get to try it because a lot of times they've got 300 or 400 bottles on the shelves, different kinds, and they're not going to try everything. So if they get the chance to try something without having to buy a bottle for the store or buy it for themselves, they a lot of times will really greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, they might get a case of something in, but if the rep doesn't give them a bottle as a sample bottle, they might not know how good it is or what it is. So if they get a chance to try it, I mean, it's a little easier to sell something if you have a personal relationship with it. So if you know how good it is or you really appreciate it, you can push it on people saying, I know how good this is because I have personally tried it. Versus, yeah, I've been told it's good. I've got 6 bottles. Take a chance on it.
Right. All right. Well, this is a definite thumbs up for me.
I love this.
All right.
I love anything Middlewest so far has put out. They've got a Michelin wheated whiskey. They've actually got another Pumpernickel Rye, but it's not the Tawny port. And they've got and as I said, they've got the wheated whiskey in the tube that I saw too. So
yeah, and so Scott and I both have the Pumpernickel Rye cask strength. I also have the one that's not cask strength, and they're all really good. In my opinion, total thumbs up on Middlewest products in general, and specifically the Pumpernickel Rye finishing Oloroso casks.
Definitely.
All right, and so if you like what we're doing, please click the thumbs up to like our videos, please comment and subscribe, and click the little button down here with the bell on it that will notify you whenever we drop a video. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Drink up, bitch.